My name is Sally Taylor, and the topic of my seminar is the relationship between the level of protein in a diet and fear aggression in dogs. Um, so this topic is really important. It's Dogs are an important part of our society, and the way that the suburbia and the way we live now, we're much closer than we were before. So the proximity of housing, the people are having dogs in units and apartments where they may not have done before. So we have to recognise and learn and understand how dog behaviour is influenced by different variables around that dog, and one of those variables is nutrition. So the other variable that we look at is the relationship between the human and the animal, so the human-animal bond. It is really important as humans that we have contact with animals. Animals bring considerable benefits to us as human beings, and we also need to understand their behaviour so we can enhance that relationship, and so that we can both benefit and get the maximum amount of benefit out of the relationship that we have together. So it's a mutual relationship. Animals have many roles in our society, so we see animals now being therapy dogs. Therapy dogs are now becoming a very big part of um, the lives of people that have disabilities, whether they're blind and whether they're are deaf, whether they suffer from epilepsy or other ailments. Then dogs the benefit of having a dog around to help is already proven to be really considerable, and so we can learn a lot with knowing how that behaviour is influenced. Nutrition, and the reason I'm looking at nutrition is that it has been proved that protein and the amino acid L-tryptophan does have an influence on fear aggression, but I would like to propose that that protein alone, that there is a possibility that protein alone can actually influence behaviour as well. So the title of this study is an exploratory study into the level of protein and its influence on fear-based aggressive behaviour of a dog. And the research question: is there a correlation between nutrition and aggressive behaviour in dogs and protein levels contained in their diet? So the proposed population for this study would be from between 100 and 150 dogs from a local vet hospital. So they would be selected from a database with having already shown signs of fear aggression. So they've and in varying degrees. The population would then be randomly allocated into 3 groups, and that would be done by a control centre. And the selection criteria for the dogs, so the age would be from 2 years up, any younger than 2 years, and they are still quite juvenile. Sex, either male or female. Breed, non-specific. It has been proved that different breeds don't necessarily have different aggressive tendencies. So a breed, it won't be a criteria, or neither will weight. So they will be fed on basically on their weight. So there'll be no need for weight to be a criteria, and they must have shown some fear-based aggression, but not have any other behavioural issues. So when the dog is selected, the owner is asked to fill out a CBARC questionnaire, which is a pre-existing questionnaire, and it relates to aggression. So there are general questions on there, and there's also questions about aggressive behaviour and more specifically fear aggression in dogs. So it's really relevant. So that would be the initial questionnaire that they would be asked to fill out. And they would be asked to fill out this on a portal. So they would be given access to a portal which they would use in the entire period of the study. And that from that CBARC questionnaire, we would deduce a lot of information about their existing fear and anxiety, and then also questions about their personal data. So the allocation, as I said before, would be random, and it would be done in a central methods centre. So to ensure that there is randomisation, that's how they would be allocated into their 3 groups. The diet will be supplied to owners 5 days before the study start, and candidates in those 3 groups would be given a different percentage of protein in their diet. Owners will be asked to walk their dogs for 30 minutes a day, and they would also be asked to expose them to strangers. So they would be asked to walk them in areas where they would be a park or shopping centre or something like that, or shopping area. And then they would be asked at the end of that day to fill out a daily questionnaire on the behaviour of their dogs. So the criteria for them would be to approach a stranger, and then to record exactly what the behaviour of their dog is, and this would be based on a 1 to 5 behaviour criteria, and 1 being that there was no change in the behaviour, up to 5, which would be that the dog is growling and displaying significant signs of aggression. All data then would be collated into a spreadsheet. So at the end of the 28 days, the data would be cleaned and collated, and to ensure reliability. And the analysis, because there are 3 groups in the study, the data would be analysed using ANOVA, and this would distinguish any differences between the groups, and therefore giving us an idea, giving us some clear indications on the behaviour differences in according to their levels of protein. So thank you very much. That's my proposed study.